Hello everyone, welcome to the session Object Oriented Programming through Java. Myself Navya, I am an assistant professor from the Department of CSIT in MLR Institutions of Technology. In this session, we are going to see what is multi-threading part 4. In this session, we are going to discuss a thread synchronization. What is thread synchronization? What is the problem undergo with thread synchronization? And what are the methods to solve the thread synchronization? What is mutual exclusion? And what is synchronized method and synchronized block? So coming to thread synchronization, what is the problem of thread synchronization? So imagine a bank will have multiple tellers that serves the customers, but there was a single vault where all the money is kept. In a one room, you are having only money, and there are multiple tellers or multiple workers which will communicate with the customers. Okay, so what happens? Only one teller at a time, one person will access the room at a time to avoid confusion and mistakes. If multiple users, multiple bank employees has been using multiple bank employees use the same room simultaneously, there could be an errors which like giving out of wrong amount of money. Okay, imagine there is a bank which has multiple tellers, or you can call it as multiple employees who are serving customers. There was a single vault, which is a single room where all the money is kept. When only one teller can access the room at a time. Where if multiple employees are accessing the room at a time simultaneously, there might get an error and they might give you the wrong amount of money. So this was a problem. So how you are going to solve the problem? And this problem is called as synchronization. So what is synchronization? The synchronization is a process of allowing only one thread to access a shared resource at a time. Okay, so in order to use particular room, we has to access only one person at a time. So here the Java programming supports multi-threading, we already know. So the problem of shared resources occurs when two or more threads get executed at the same time. In such situation, if we need a way to ensure a shared resource will be accessed by only one thread at a time, and this is performed by using the concept called synchronization. This is what the synchronization. The synchronization is a process of allowing only one thread at a time in order to access a shared resource at a time. Sorry. So what will be the solution? So here in this bank, the vault represent a shared resource, okay, in a Java program, and the tellers are threads. Okay, to ensure that only one thread accesses the vault at a time, we need a key that only one teller can hold any moment. So the key represents the lock in Java synchronization. How we are going to lock? Okay, so here is the solution. So in order to achieve the synchronization in Java, we are going to use these concepts. One is mutual exclusion and the second one is inter-thread communication. So these are the two concepts which you can achieve synchronization in Java. So coming to mutual exclusion, what is it? So since a boy is inside the changing room, the sign on it prevent that other from the entering the room, isn't it? So one is changing the room, he was occupied. The boy B has to wait outside the changing room till the boy A comes out. This was in process of mutual exclusion. So here, when one thread is executing or one thread is sharing the common resource, the other threads has to be wait outside. So like P0, P1 is waiting and thread P2 is executing, and P3 has completed it. When it went off, it will be entering into the room and next two are waiting. So using mutual exclusion program process, we keep thread from interfering with one another while they accessing the shared resource. In Java, mutual exclusion is achieved. This can be done in two ways. One is synchronized method, and the other one is synchronized block. So coming to synchronized method. So whenever if you are using a method that would be locked. Okay. So you have, when thread 1 is executing the synchronized method, all other threads has to be wait until and unless this thread has been completed its execution. Okay. So when a method created using a synchronized keyword, you have to, in order to write a synchronized method, you have to use synchronized keyword while writing the method. It allows only one object to access at a time. When an object calls synchronized method, okay, when an object calls a synchronized method, it puts a lock on the method so that all other objects or threads that are trying to call the same method must wait until the lock is released. Once the lock is released on the shared resource, one of the threads among the waiting threads will be allocated to the shared resource. So whenever it was executing this, it will lock to the particular method. All other threads who want to access this method has to be wait for some time until and unless the thread 1 execution is completed. Its execution is completed, then the other thread can access, one thread can access at a time. This is what a synchronized method. So the same thing I have given here. See here, this was a synchronized method whenever it was executing the thread 1. Here thread 1 is executing the synchronized method. Whenever the thread 1 is entered into the synchronized method, all other thread has to wait until and unless the thread 1 has been. Once the thread 1 is completed, the next thread has to be entered into the synchronized method and it has to be executed, and the other two has to wait. After completion of thread 3 execution, thread 2 and thread 4 has to be executed. So what did you understand? Whenever you keep a method as a synchronized method, only one thread is executing that particular synchronized method. At only it will execute that synchronized method. All the other threads has to be wait until and unless that thread has to be completed. So let us go with an example program for the synchronized method. So here I am creating a class table and synchronized. This was my synchronized method. This is my synchronized method. Okay. So here I am creating, I just want to go with the multiplication of a table and this was a synchronized table. Okay. So I am creating my thread 1 thread using, I am creating table which is an object to that particular class, and I am creating a number. I just ask this consists table and a number. This dot table equals to table and number. It was a constructor for this particular, and I am overriding the run method table dot print table of number. I am calling this method here. Okay. And I am creating the second one also the same. I am number and I am taking new class and I am going to call the print table here. I am creating the two threads, thread 1 and thread 2. Thread 1 belongs to my thread 1 and thread 2 belongs to my thread 2. Okay. And I am going to call table and 5, table and 10 table and 1. So whenever I start T1 dot start and T2 dot start, what happens? Let us see. So this is the example program. Okay. I just execute it. See here. What happens? We are calling thread 1 T1 dot start T1, which consists of 5 table, isn't it? So it was executing 5 up to 5 10 50. Okay. After completion of execution of one thread only, the second thread has been get into that particular method and it was executing. Okay. This is how the synchronized method will work in Java. Coming to the synchronized block. So what is synchronized block? The same methodology you will have for a single block of statements. For a block of statements, okay, so whenever you keep synchronized as a keyword for with particular object and you write a block of code, the block is said to be synchronized block. Whenever the threads enter this particular block, okay, whenever it was executing this particular block, it will allow only one thread to access that particular block. So, in order to access, after completion of this, the accessing of one thread only, it will allow other thread to execute. Till it was completed, till the execution completed, the all other threads has to be wait for some time. So, synchronized block is used when we want to synchronize only a specific sequence of lines in a method. Okay, I just don't want to synchronize the complete method. If I just want to synchronize only some specific lines of code, then here I can use a synchronized block. For example, let us consider a method with 20 lines of code where we want to synchronize only sequence of 5 lines. Then I can use a synchronized block. Okay. So here is the syntax and let us go with an example program. So here I am taking a name list and I can have a name and a name list. Okay. And a string name and I'm count is 0 and I'm synchronizing only this one. This is my synchronized block which consists of this object and this dot name equals name. I'm counting count plus plus and names list dot add of name. Okay. And I can return you count. And here is my main. I am creating two lists, names 1 and names 2. Okay, I am creating a list of array list. Okay, I am creating an object for array list and this list, and I am entering in list 1. I am adding Rama comma list Rama into the list 1 and list 2. I am entering Sita to the list and thread 1. I am getting count for thread 1. And I'm going to count the thread 2. Okay, these are my 2 threads I'm creating. And here, if I want, I can keep the synchronized keyword for whole block of code which is in a method. So, it works similarly as a synchronized method. So, let us see this example program here. So, see here, thread 1 consists of one list which is Rama and thread 2 consists of Sita, one list. If I just want to add some more names, for example, if I just want to go with the scene, Lakshman here in this thread 1, I am adding 3. Okay, you might get Hanuman. And then Sita. In the list 2, I am adding Ram. List 1 again I am adding Imala writing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 from list 1 and 2 are from list 2. So let us go with this. So the count, see here, the MLRIT, thread 1 is MLRIT and the lost thread 2 is RAM is the lost. So 2. So I just nameless dot name. I just got a count of this name. Clear? This is how the synchronized block will work. So in this session, what we have seen the problem of synchronization, what is synchronization and what is the problem for synchronization, and how you can solve. You can solve by two methods. One is mutual exclusion and the second one is inter-thread communication. So we have completed the method 1 in this session. Okay, and mutual exclusion can be achieved in two ways. One is synchronized block and the second one is synchronized method. And we have seen how you can achieve the synchronized method and synchronized block with the example programs. Okay, this is what we have seen in today's session. In the next session, we are going to see what is inter-thread communication, how you are going to achieve the inter-thread communication, what problems comes with an inter-thread communications we are going to see. This is what today's session is. Thank you all.